wouldn't be always singing and parties. Oh no. There was the sad times. I mean, there was the serious times. There was that time called Lent. Do you remember anybody the old days of Lent? Oh Lord, it was hard. We had to give up everything. And everything was a sin, especially if you enjoyed it. And in our house the rule was you had to go to confession every Saturday, and then you came home and you went home and you washed your hair. And you stayed in and you fasted. And you know, it could happen that once in a while, if you go to confession every Saturday, once in a while, I would have no sins. Just once in a while. Once in a while I'd have no time to sin. And you still had to go. And if you went in and told the priest you'd no sins, he'd eat you. So he'd say, what you mean coming here to me with no sins on your soul? Go out and sin and come back. And you know the worst thing we do? Worse. We would make up sins in confession. And that's a sin. I mean, now you're going from venial to mortal. You were killed with guilt. And then you went home and you washed your hair and you weren't let out. Why? My father would say, because your pores are open. He'd say, Carmel can't come out tonight, her pores are open. So different today. My daughter in Los Angeles says, Mom, you should see it here in Los Angeles. They have a drive-in confessional. Toot and tell. And an express lane for 7 sins and under. And then, of course, came St. Patrick's Day. No wonder we loved it. We could do everything. For that one day, everything you gave up, you did. And that was why St. Patrick's was so great. And all this time, my father was very anxious that I become a school teacher. And I now was in a teacher's college outside Dublin in Kerrisford in Blackrock. And I didn't want to be a teacher, but I had a scholarship and everyone was proud of me and I was miserable. And I said to my father, why do you want me to be a school teacher? And he said, Carmel, because at 65 there's a pension. I was 17. I said to him, nobody lives to 65. I still say that. It's called denial. So I said to him, don't you think I might do something with my life, you know? He said, like what? Well, I said, I'd love to sing or act or do something in the theatre. And he said, don't be ridiculous. That's all you ever got. Don't be ridiculous. You're losing the bit you had. So I said, well, you never know. He said, no, Carmel, you haven't a chance. Because you have no money, you have no training, you don't know anybody, you haven't a hope. And I said, well, you never know. I'd like to really give it a try. And he said, don't be ridiculous. So I took a job. Because in our house, if you didn't stay in school, you had to earn your keep. So I took a job for peace sake. My first job was selling shoes. And look, you had to apprentice to sell shoes. You had to apprentice for a full year. And you had to pay a fee. And they paid you back the fee in dribs and drabs, your bus fare. And the shoe shop was owned by a man called Morris Cohen. And the Cohens lived next to us. There was the Cohens in 27, and we were in 26, and the Kellys were in 25. So Morris Cohen owned this shoe shop, and he gave me the job. And you mightn't think it, But this kind of a job prepared me for life. It did, a shoe shop. Because you had to greet the people and talk to the people, and you had to convince them and make the sale, and you didn't exactly lie, but you varnished. Oh, but you varnished. I could have been a politician by the time I came out of the shoe shop. But my first day there, Morris Cohen said to me, Miss Quinn, I just must tell you the rules. Now, you are allowed in the course of the year to let 2 customers out with no sale. And with the 3rd no sale, you go with them. I said, okay, do my best. So in comes a woman, you know, and I say, how are you? Grand, isn't it lovely? The drop of rain we needed. Oh, we done, we talk away and then she'd say to me, I want a little pair of shoes. No woman ever asked for a big pair of shoes. I want a little pair of shoes, like something that'd take me from the kitchen to mass to the dance. Right. So, let me measure your foot. Ah, sir, sweetheart, you don't have to measure this foot. I have a lovely small foot. Barely take a 5. I would look at this huge foot and know this was an 8. But I'd say, right, off I go up the ladder, get the boxes, come down, try them on. I know. Try this one. Oh God, this is gorgeous. Try this one. No, my husband wouldn't like them. Look at that, gorgeous. And then Mr. Cohen is over in a corner watching me. And then we knew when they were tiring. You knew when the customer was tiring. And you'd say, wait till I tell you. Would you like a nice cup of tea? Oh God, I'd give anything for a nice, if I had a cup of tea, I wouldn't call the Queen me aunt. Go over here where they make, and we'd a little kettle, with hot water, with cups, just a cup of tea, a couple of biscuits, you're back, there you are. Oh, God love you. Leave her alone, let her have the tea and the bickies, and then you came back, and here's a changed woman. And she said, I'm going to take these, Pat. Oh, I said, you made a great choice, you did. And I'm taking the shoe from her, and she says, oh, wait. And she sees 8. She says, oh, there's a mistake here, Pat. Sure, I'm not an 8, I'm a 5. Ah, but I said, wait till I tell you. These shoes are from Italy. And see, in Italy, our 5 is an 8. Oh, I see, Pat. Oh, that's grand. So I take them and I put them in the box, and then you brown papered them and then twine from a canister. And down, and you did the whole twine. And all the time talking, and hope your husband likes them now, and I hope you'll enjoy the dance. And see, what we were to do was wrap it like that and then break the twine smartly. And I couldn't never break the twine. I couldn't break the twine. I'd say, so I hope you enjoyed these and that your husband loves them too. And then I'd say, and come back again, won't you? That was the only way I could do it. And Mr. Cohen would say after, that was nice, Miss Quinn, but it's a terrible pity you can't master the twine. While I was there in Cohen's shoe shop, I heard there was going to be an audition at the Theatre Royal Dublin for a singer. Now, Theatre Royal is a gorgeous big theatre, 1,000-seater, 3 shows a day they had and 3 movies every day. And they'd a line of girls, the Royalettes, and they'd have a big American star or a London comic or whatever, and a singer with the band. And I thought, I'll go down and I'll just see, you know, I'll just see how you audition. I didn't know how. And I go down and I sit in the back of the Royals, big theatre, so I sat way back. And the band leader's up there auditioning these girls, and there they are, and I see them, And I see them, and they have like, the first thing I see is they have a briefcase. Oh, everyone had a briefcase with music. I thought, God, if I only had a briefcase with music. And they had their voice teacher, and they had their mother. And I looked, and I sat well back. And the girls got up, and they were all sopranos. There's one fine day when love, and they were screaming away. And he was saying, thank you, that's very nice, thank you, next. And it was, tell me, pretty maiden, are there any more at home like you? There are a few. What? And they go off singing like this. And he'd say, thank you very much. And he was getting crankier and crankier. And finally it was all over, and everyone went. And he looks around, he looks to the pianist and says, and then he sees me, and he says, hello, can I help you? And I said, no, it's all right. And he said, well, did you come to sing? I said, well, I thought I'd come like and ask about it, you know, and we could chat. And he said, well, do you sing? I said, I do. He said, well, what do you sing? I said, oh, anything. Oh, he said, that's wonderful. He was sarcastic and cross. He said, that's wonderful. He said, do you know Brahms' Lullaby? I said, I do, because my father always played these things. And he said, what key? I said, oh, any key. So we turned to the pianist, and the pianist gave the big soprano note to sing it. La, 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 up here. And I just sang lullaby and good night. Mid roses so white were lilies so fair, lay set on the air. And when daylight is born, may you wait to the morn. And when daylight is born, may you wait to the morn. Iha Q, Iha Ma, Eran Lena Vina Kalla. Iha Q, Iha Ma, Eran Kalin Gorjo, Shohin Sho Lolo, Shohin Sho is to Molena, Shohin Sho Lolo, Shohin Sho is to I like that, he said. You'll be the one we'll put on Sunday. Like that. No briefcase. But I think my mother was always there. And I said, oh, that's great. I couldn't believe it. So he said, you know, when I said Brahms' Lullaby and the pianist gave you the soprano key, and why did you take it down an octave? Well, I said, see, you're trying to put the child to sleep. In the other key, it had never closed an eye. So he said, you're right. And now he said, Sunday, do you have a gown? Gown? Gown, how are you? A nightgown? I had a flannel. I said, no, I don't have a gown. He said, well, I'll tell you what, our wardrobe lady will fix you up. You'll be grand. And he said, don't worry, and we'll pick a song and you'll be grand. So I went home and told the news, and everyone was excited, and oh God, well, my father never praised you. He'd say, I suppose it's all right. That's all. Him. And so I came down Sunday afternoon, and he said, the band leader said to me, what would you like to sing? He had asked previously. I said, I'll sing the Isle of Innisfree. Ah, but he said, nobody knows that. Don't sing that, no one ever heard of it. Ah, well, I said, like, how will anyone ever hear it if no one ever sings it? He said, well, you're right. And he said, this 3 o'clock Dublin audience, they're tough. They'll love it or they won't. Well, I said, sure, we'll give it a chance. So then I came down, and the wardrobe lady had a dress for me you wouldn't believe. It was worn by the chorus girls for like a Brazilian rumba. And it was royal blue with sequins, and it was the V down to here. And it had a slit up to here. And I didn't know what to do, and I told my sister, whatever you do, bring safety pins. So she arrived. She was coming down anyway to give me courage, Bets, and she had come down with holy water, a bottle. And not just our everyday holy water, this was Lourdes. We had that for special occasions up on the mantelpiece. So she brought the Lourdes water and the safety pins. How can you miss? And so I'm inside with the girl, we pin me up and pin me down. I can hardly walk on the thing. I didn't care. And my sister is the quietest person on earth. And I don't know why, but in the dressing room, Bets whistled. And we never whistled. She never whistled. I never whistled. Because we were always told, a whistling woman and a crowing hen brings the devil out of his den. We'd never chanced that. But Bets whistled because she was nervous. And the chorus girls threw her out, outside the door, twirled her around and made her swear. And she had to really try to think of a swear. And then I said, what's wrong? They said she whistled. The girl nearest the door will be fired. Oh no, and the girl nearest the door was the oldest of the troop. Not kicking as high as the others. So I said, oh God, and I worried about her for months, nothing happened. Anyway, I come on to do my song, and the Royal stage is like a block. So I come on like this. Afterwards, my father said to me, in the name of God, you should learn how to make an entrance onto a stage, an entrance and an exit. You came on like a plough horse. That was the compliment. And I sang my little song. I've met some folk who say that I'm a dreamer, and I've no doubt there's truth in what they say. But sure, a body's bound to be a dreamer when all the things he loves are far away, and precious things are dreams unto an exile. They take him o'er the land across the sea, especially when it happens he's an exile from that dear lovely I love Innisfree. And when the moonlight peeps across the rooftops of this great city so wondrous though it be, I scarcely feel its wonder or its laughter. I'm once again back home in Innisfree. Ah, but dreams don't last, though dreams are not forgotten. and soon I'm back to stern reality. And though they pave the footways all with gold dust, I'll always love my Isle of Innisfree. I took my bow, I went off, and the crowd applauded like anything, and I came back, plowing out again, and then I came back, and he said to me, I knew it. And I said, what? He said, I knew they'd like it. And there it was, and I'd no other song. So he said, sing it again, so I sang it again, and then I was on for the week. A full week at the Theatre Royal. And the next day I got a little write-up, 2 lines, in the Irish Independent. It said, Carmel Quinn, young Dublin girl with an unusual voice, was a hit. I was thrilled. You have no idea. I'd say to Beth, read it to me over here.